One of these days, somebody is going to be making a video about what it was like to work for me and how they survived it, and that's going to be hilarious. Hey, everybody, this is Roberto Blake of RobertoBlake.com helping you create something awesome today. So, today we're going to talk about surviving as an in house designer. Something I think a lot of you forget sometimes about my backstory is that I've worked as an in-house designer before. I worked as a designer in an ad agency, and I've been a freelancer multiple times before deciding to just fully run my own business, be a creative entrepreneur, and do a whole bunch of stuff. Now, with that in mind, I have some very specific advice for how you survive as an in-house designer. This could be particularly helpful if, like me, you might be suffering through some of the things that a lot of creatives go through. I went through anxiety, probably what might be called severe anxiety if we're talking about panic attacks that could send you to the hospital, depression, and often a lack of motivation. That was a big problem throughout a lot of my 20s, and so I have some advice on how you can survive as an in-house designer, how to work through some of those things. It's not specifically focused on just the internal things. There's a lot of the actual career side and a lot of the politicking, so let's just get right into it. So one of the big problems of being a creative as an in-house professional is often you'll have to work with non-designers and non-creative people in general, and it'll be hard for them to understand why what you do and how you operate is so different than them. To avoid being singled out, one of the things that I figured out was you have to actually tap into your empathy. You have to try to learn as much about them and about their job and how what they do facilitates the entire business as well as what you do. And when you do that, you'll be given a lot more slack, a lot more benefit of the doubt, and they'll be willing to accept and understand the differences in how you guys work together. And you won't be finding yourself having to conform nearly as much. You'll be given your space because you've paid it forward up front by understanding them, taking the time to learn about them, and then letting them know that you appreciate what they do and what they bring to the table. This might sound a little rough for you guys because some of you are feeling very introverted and that takes up a lot of your energy. You don't have to do it all at once, and you can take this slow and you can do it on your own terms. You can ease into it. What I will say is the sooner you acclimate yourself and have come to some kind of individual personal understanding with all of your coworkers, the easier your life and your career and your job will be. Tip number 2 for surviving as an in-house designer or creative, I would say learn to develop processes, workflows, templates, and shortcuts as quickly as you possibly can. Literally have an archive of these things. Have meticulous notes about your processes because it is going to be important. You are going to find yourself having to do a lot of things outside the scope of work of your job description. The more things that you have a strict process for and that you have resources around to make your own life easier, the better, because you cannot trust the job to provide you with it. That's just not going to happen. Tip number 3, resist the temptation to correct your boss and your supervisors. This is going to sound very negative. If they want you to do something that completely goes against what you understand to be good design, and you've already figured out that this person just wants what they want, they're not somebody that is historically been able to accept an outside point of view or be redirected down an appropriate path, until you decide that you're going to get a different job and work in a different corporate culture, give them what they want and then just go to clients from hell and talk about it later. Not even kidding. There's a book called The 48 Laws of Power, and one of the things it talks about is never outshine the master. Your supervisor, your manager, your employer, they are the master of their domain. And the thing is, if they're not looking for guidance or if they're not looking for another opinion, if they're not looking for, honest dissent, then by giving it to them, you're just making yourself a target and you're just making every day going forward harder on yourself. I know that your integrity is going to be stressed here. One of the problems that I had with working in-house and working in the corporate world is that sometimes if you pick the wrong place and it doesn't have a really good or open corporate culture and there's not room for intelligent discussion or to pivot, then a lot of times it comes down to closing your mouth, sacrificing your integrity, and collecting your check every 2 weeks. And so in that situation, I would say that if you've identified that that's the corporate culture you're in, the easiest thing to do is just try to get along with people and to give them what they're asking for. You can always do what you've been told and tasked with, and if you feel really compelled to do your very best, despite the fact that they're holding you back. Do the extra work and present more options, and just understand you're not going to get paid a dime more for it. Yeah, I know that was really soul crushing, but I had to be truthful with you guys. I want to give you guys honest advice here. Tip number 4, don't make yourself indispensable in your current role if you want to move up the ladder. If you don't want to move up the ladder, or there's nowhere else to go and you're comfortable where you're at, then make yourself absolutely indispensable so that you can retain your job for as long as possible and coast to a pension. Wait, do pensions still exist as of the making of this video? That might be a thing. No, but in all seriousness, there is a such thing as needing to escalate up the career ladder. And the thing is, if you are perfect in the role you're at, no one wants to move you. But if you are very suited to another role and you can be replaced in your existing role, then you have a better shot of moving up the ladder and being able to groom a successor. So I would position for that if that's something that you're interested in. If there's no room to grow, then I would consider other job prospects. If you're very comfortable where you are and you can't imagine leaving, and you love the culture and you love the work and you don't want another position and you just want a raise, then be indispensable. That would be my advice. Do as much as you can, even though you know up front you're not going to make more money. Go the extra mile every single time if that's the job that you want to keep for the next decade or two. Tip number 5, have a life outside of your job. Do not define your happiness. Do not define your success by your job position, role, or title, no matter how infatuated you are with it. You need a life, and you need a creative life outside of the workplace as an in-house designer, or you can end up with a lot of negative issues. You can be too emotionally involved and invested in your job, and if anything goes wrong, you'll take it much more personally. It will be more difficult for you. I am speaking from experience. It's fine to be friends with your coworkers and colleagues, but you really need to have some clear division between your work life and your actual life. That really matters. It's something that I even take very seriously as an entrepreneur and somebody who runs their own business. You have to really figure out how to separate these things. Anyway, I hope these tips for surviving as an in-house designer help you get some perspective and maybe help you what you might be going through in your career right now. If you actually have an interesting story about any of these things that you've experienced, let me know in the comment section. I'd be really curious about that. I think it could help a lot of people, so let's have a discussion, guys. Anyway, like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other awesome content on the channel. Remember, graphic design videos are usually on Mondays. As always, you guys, thanks so very much for watching, and don't forget, create something awesome today.